7 reasons you should never hurt a Sagittarius, or karma will silently punish you. Have you ever met a Sagittarius, wild, laughing, full of bright fire, and thought that nothing could ever dim their light? That their soul was made only of freedom, adventure, and boundless optimism? It's easy to think so, but behind that radiant spirit lies something far deeper, far more sacred, and far easier to wound than you might realize. Sagittarius loves with an intensity few recognize until it's gone. They give not just from their heart but from their soul, offering loyalty, belief, and hope to the people they care for. And if you ever betray that trust, if you ever hurt a Sagittarius who loved you purely, know this: karma doesn't forget. It doesn't shout, it doesn't storm. It moves silently, shifting your life from within until you finally understand what you lost. Today we begin a journey into the heart of Sagittarius, uncovering 7 profound reasons why you should never hurt them, not just for their sake, but for your own soul's growth. Because when a Sagittarius loves you, it's a cosmic gift. And when they walk away, it leaves a hole that no one else can ever quite fill. If this is your first time here, welcome to Zodiac Wisdom. I'm Sophia, your companion on the path of emotional awakening through astrology. If these words find a home in your heart, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe. Not for me, but for the light you are choosing to keep alive within yourself. Today, let's walk together into the sacred fires that only Sagittarius carries. Gate 1. Where Sagittarius loves with their whole spirit, not just their heart. If you have ever been loved by a Sagittarius, you know it is not something you can ever quite forget. Sagittarius does not approach love like others. For them, love is not just a matter of shared moments or whispered promises. It is a full-on leap of spirit. When they choose you, they are not just offering their affection. They are offering you a part of their untamed, vibrant soul. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wisdom, and boundless optimism. This means their love is wide, vast, and at times overwhelming. It's not the clingy, suffocating kind of attachment. It's the kind that stands in awe of your freedom while simultaneously wanting to soar alongside you. Yet, what many fail to realize is that when Sagittarius loves, they silently tie their spirit to you. They believe in you, sometimes more than you believe in yourself. They dream for you. They see futures you haven't dared imagine yet. Their love is a prayer whispered into the fabric of the universe. May we both become our highest selves together. But here's the danger. Because their love is so pure, so intertwined with hope and trust, if you betray it, you don't just break their heart, you fracture their faith. And Sagittarius, for all their strength and laughter, does not rebuild their faith easily. I remember a Sagittarius woman I once knew. She fell deeply for someone who could not see the depth of her devotion. She would send him messages filled with poems she wrote under the stars, make long drives just to surprise him with his favorite meal. She cheered for his dreams louder than he did himself. But he took her for granted, seeing her spirit as something that would always be there, always giving. When he finally hurt her beyond repair, she didn't rage. She didn't beg. She simply stopped. She became a breeze you could no longer catch. Her laughter, once a melody he thought he owned, became a sound carried elsewhere by the wind. He said later, "I thought she was my home, but it turns out I was just passing through hers." When you hurt a Sagittarius, karma does not strike loudly. It strikes through emptiness, through the loss of something so fiercely alive, so wildly loving, that when it's gone, the world feels grayer, colder. Sagittarius embodies fire. Fire to warm, to ignite, to inspire. But mishandle it, and you are left with nothing but the ashes of what could have been. And more deeply, Sagittarius holds ancient wisdom within them. As the 9th sign of the Zodiac, they carry lessons learned over lifetimes, about freedom, about loyalty, about love that does not cage but liberates. Hurting them is not just hurting a person. It is rejecting a sacred journey the universe invited you to embark upon. If you have ever felt the full force of a Sagittarius's spirit loving you, not possessively, not conditionally, but fiercely and freely, you have touched something rare. And if you ever betrayed it, you will feel that loss not as anger, but as a deep, haunting regret that time alone cannot heal. Because Sagittarius does not leave carrying hatred. They leave carrying the part of their soul they once shared with you, reclaiming it. And you are left standing there, holding only the memory of something extraordinary. Have you ever been loved by a Sagittarius in a way that made you believe in magic again? If yes, honor that memory. And if you still hold that love, cherish it. Because not everyone is given the chance to touch a love so vast, so true it could set both souls free. Gate 2. The intuition of Sagittarius is a compass for souls. When you walk alongside a Sagittarius, you might believe they are simply adventurous, chasing new lands and new dreams. But there is something few truly see, their intuition. It is not loud or boastful. It does not come with mystical declarations. It is quiet, steady, and woven seamlessly into the way they move through the world. Sagittarius intuition feels like a compass hidden within their ribcage, always pointing toward the deeper truths others are too afraid to name. They sense when something is wrong even if no one speaks it aloud. They know when someone's spirit is dimming, even if the smile on their face remains bright. Their gift is not just a hunch. It is a knowing. The mistake people make is assuming that Sagittarius is too carefree to notice the undercurrents. They think because Sagittarius laughs, because they dance with life, they do not feel the subtle shifts in energy. But the truth is, Sagittarius notices everything. They simply choose not to weigh themselves down with it unless absolutely necessary. I once met a Sagittarius man who lived with such wild-hearted openness that everyone believed he could never be hurt. He loved fully, trusted easily, gave without calculation. Yet, when betrayal touched his life, he had seen it coming long before it happened. Not through evidence but through intuition. He stayed anyway, giving the other person the grace to be better. When they chose otherwise, he did not fight or rage. He simply followed his inner compass, turned his face to the horizon and walked away. He told me once, "I knew she was already gone long before she said the words. I stayed because sometimes love isn't about holding on. It's about giving someone the chance to choose you freely." This is where the intuition of Sagittarius becomes their silent strength. They do not cling. They do not manipulate. They observe, they hope, and when needed they release. All while trusting that the universe is guiding them toward their next truth. Astrologically, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, expansion, and higher understanding. Their luck isn't random. It is a result of being tuned into a larger rhythm that others cannot hear. They follow signs, gut feelings, and dreams with a faith that defies logic. But here lies the quiet danger. If you betray a Sagittarius, you are not just breaking trust with a person. You are ignoring a soul that saw you, believed in your highest self, and still chose to stand beside you. And karma, when it responds to hurting a Sagittarius, is not immediate or theatrical. It is patient. It comes in small realizations that build over time. A missed opportunity here. A lingering emptiness there. The gnawing ache that you lost someone who would have cheered for your soul louder than you ever dared to yourself. When a Sagittarius walks away, it is not sudden. It is the last step of a long journey your actions wrote word by word, day by day. Have you ever had the feeling that someone knew your truth long before you were ready to speak it? Have you ever been given the silent gift of being understood without judgment? If you have, perhaps a Sagittarius once crossed your path. And if they still stand beside you, honor that. Listen to their laughter, yes, but listen even more carefully to the silences between their words. Their intuition is speaking to you, offering a kind of guidance and trust that the world rarely gives twice. In a world that rushes and shouts, Sagittarius feels and understands. And if you are lucky enough to be loved by them, remember, they saw you. They chose you. Not because you were perfect, but because they believed your soul was worth the journey. Treasure that belief. Because once it is lost, the compass turns and Sagittarius, without hatred, without fanfare, will follow their true path into the horizon, leaving you to wonder forever what sacred road you could have traveled together. Gate 3. When Sagittarius loves you, they open a door to the infinite, but once closed, it rarely opens again. To love a Sagittarius is to be invited into a vast, wild, and uncharted world. It's like stepping through a secret door, one that leads into fields of endless possibility, skies that stretch wider than any fear, oceans deeper than any insecurity. When Sagittarius loves, they do not merely open their heart. They open the entire map of their soul and say, "Here. This is yours too, if you're willing to journey with me." In the early days, you might not even notice what a precious thing you've been given. Their laughter is so infectious, their energy so alive, that it feels easy, almost inevitable to be around them. They make you feel like you can fly, not because they carry you but because they believe you can. Sagittarius doesn't just love you for who you are. They love you for who you could become. But here's what few understand. That door to their infinite world is sacred. It is not flung open for just anyone. Sagittarius chooses carefully, guided by a wisdom older than this life. Intuition born from lifetimes of walking away from cages disguised as comfort. When they open that door to you, they are making a silent vow. I will not hold you back. I will walk beside you. I will celebrate your wings, even if one day you outfly me. And this is no small promise. Because deep down, Sagittarius knows that not everyone is brave enough to explore with them. Not everyone values freedom over control, wonder over certainty. I remember a story about a Sagittarius man I once knew. He loved a woman who said all the right things, that she adored his adventurous spirit, that she wanted a life of freedom too. But slowly, quietly, her fears began to show. Every time he dreamed a bigger dream, she doubted it. Every time he took a leap of faith, she asked him to step back. Be more careful, she said. Be more realistic. She didn't mean to clip his wings, but fear has a way of tightening its grip even when it's disguised as love. For a while he stayed. He tried to shrink his dreams, to fit them into the smaller box she could feel safe within. He folded his maps, quieted his visions. But inside, something sacred began to wither. The part of him that only survives in the open air of possibility. One evening, standing on a cliff overlooking the ocean, he realized. The door he had opened for her was no longer a shared path. It had become a prison of compromise. And so, he did what Sagittarius must do when their spirit is being suffocated. He closed the door. Not with hatred. Not even with sorrow. With acceptance. With the quiet understanding that not everyone who knocks deserves to walk all the way through. When a Sagittarius closes that door, it is almost always final. They don't slam it. They don't lock it in bitterness. They simply withdraw the invitation. They take back the keys to their infinite soul and continue their journey. Lighter, wiser, and forever changed. You may still see them from time to time, smiling, laughing, alive. But you will know the door you once walked through has vanished. The world they once shared with you now exists behind an invisible wall. A place you can no longer reach no matter how loudly you knock. And that is the true karmic lesson of loving and losing a Sagittarius. It teaches you that some doors in life are not guaranteed to stay open. Some invitations are sacred, singular. You either have the courage to step through them fully, or you lose the chance forever. Because Sagittarius doesn't need you to walk with them. They invite you. They welcome you. They celebrate your freedom alongside their own. But if you show them that you fear the wildness inside them, if you ask them to dim their fire or trade their faith for security, they will leave. Not because they don't love you, but because they love freedom more. Both yours and theirs. If you've ever had a Sagittarius open that secret door for you, if you've seen the universe through their eyes, even just once, honor it. Cherish it. And if you still have that door open in your life, step fully into it. Because to be loved by a Sagittarius is to be offered an adventure of the soul that no map, no guidebook, no safe road will ever replicate. And if you've lost it, grieve it, yes, but also learn from it. Because Sagittarius doesn't carry regret when they close a door. They trust that those who are meant to walk the journey with them will find the courage to do so, and those who aren't will find their own separate paths. Maybe someday on some distant horizon, you will catch a glimpse of them again. Laughing under a sky so vast it takes your breath away, and you will smile, knowing they never really belong to you. They belong to the stars. And maybe if you have learned to love with freedom too, you will feel no sadness, only gratitude that for a moment, a door opened and you were brave enough to step inside. Conclusion: Sagittarius, the one who taught you how to love without chains. At the end of it all, after all the beginnings and the endings, all the doors opened and closed, one truth remains unshaken. To be loved by a Sagittarius is to have been touched by something timeless. Sagittarius does not love you in the ways the world teaches, through possession, expectation, or fear. They love you the way the universe intended, through liberation. They show you that real love is not about ownership. It is about celebration. Real love is not about taming each other. It's about daring to journey further together. If you are lucky enough to have a Sagittarius love you, You have been given a sacred mirror. A mirror that does not reflect who you are now, but who you are capable of becoming. They see your hidden maps, your abandoned dreams, your forgotten courage, and they invite you with every beat of their wild golden heart to come alive again. But they also teach another lesson, the one many only understand too late. That freedom is not only a gift they offer to you. It is a right they fiercely protect for themselves. If you try to clip their wings, if you try to make them smaller so they fit into the life you are more comfortable with, they will leave. Not angrily, not bitterly, but completely. And their absence will not scream at you. It will not tear through your life with noise. It will echo through your quietest moments. A longing you cannot name. A what if that lingers in the corners of your memory. Because Sagittarius doesn't come into your life to teach you how to hold tighter. They come to teach you how to hold better. With open hands, with open hearts, with open skies between you. If you still have a Sagittarius walking beside you, cherish that gift. Love them without cages. Dream with them without fear. Dance with them under the stars without asking when the music will end. And if you have lost them, honor the door they once opened for you. Carry the lessons forward. Let it shape the way you love others, fiercely, freely, without asking them to become less so you can feel more. Because Sagittarius does not simply teach you how to love them. They teach you how to love life itself. Bravely, boldly, boundlessly. And if you can keep that fire alive in your heart, you will realize that Sagittarius never really left. They simply gave you the tools to find your own way to the stars. Thank you for walking this journey with me today. If this touched a part of your soul, please like, share, and subscribe to continue growing alongside Zodiac wisdom. Every story shared, every heart awakened, brings us closer to a world where love means freedom, not fear. Stay wild, stay true, and always keep your door to wonder wide open.